Hey everybody, welcome back to the very first episode of our new show, The Elite Count. Elite Count. I'm War Machine MJ, the greatest second place champion, and tied for first place as of champions. Anyway, yeah, I'm of the 3 count Mafia, of course. But this is the Elite Count where we talk about all elite wrestling. Wednesday night Dynamite. Yes, we're here today to talk about the premiere episode of All Elite Dynamite. Dynamite. And yeah, it was a really good episode. They were button heads with a championship gold level takeover NXT. But yeah, let's go ahead and start it off. Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah, they revealed who's on commentary for the show, and it's good old JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur, which, you know, Jim Ross, what hasn't been said about him? Tony Schiavone was definitely one of the best aspects of WCW back in the day, especially back in the dying days of WCW. Go back and watch some of the crap riddled days as Schiavone. God, he tried so hard to turn all that chicken into chicken salad. And of course, Excalibur, you know him from PWG shows. And $5 says he's a personal friend of the Young Bucks. But yeah, it was a pretty good commentary. They basically helped fill in the gaps where JR kind of lost himself or got lost. Anyway, we kicked off the show with Cody and his wife Brandy taking on Sammy Guevara. Yeah, this was a really fantastic match. You wouldn't expect Cody Rhodes to be such a genius level storyteller in the ring, and he told one hell of a story with young Sammy Guevara as they just put on a show opening clinic. And by the way, I'm drinking milk. Yes, it's 10 in the morning, and I just got off work a couple hours ago. So anyway, it was basically the story of Cody trying to counter Sammy Guevara's speed, and of course. Cody put away Sammy Guevara with give me a second, I'm trying to put words together. Put him away with a small package after getting the knees up, countering Sammy Guevara's shooting star press. And he got the win. Tony Schiavone was going to get an interview with Cody. Cody just, he broke character, and he was hugging all over Schiavone, and he was crying, and I'm guessing from what Schiavone was saying, I can't read lips too well, he's probably saying, get it together, man, you're on live TV. But, yeah. But no, it was a great match. It was fantastic. They countered, well, they busted out cutters. Yeah, Cody hit a Oz cutter, and of course Sammy Guevara hit a springboard cutter. Not a John Cena level springboard cutter. Anyway, after the match, Sammy Guevara was shaking Cody's hand when Cody got beat down by Chris Jericho. Uh, they put a good chunk of the beatdown in picture in picture. So yeah, Jericho was beating Cody pillar to post with whatever he could get his hands on. Uh, Next we had MJF, the greatest thing in professional wrestling today, cutting another scathing promo, doing what he does best, just lambasting the crowd. Comes out and just rips the crowd asunder. The crowd was calling him asshole, and it's him on the mic is just the best thing ever. I'm so glad WWE did not pick him up because they would have seriously neutered his speaking ability. Because give that man a mic and he's going to give you solid gold. Anyway, yeah, MJF was um, tearing the crowd asunder as he's got set to face off against Brandon Cutler. Brandon Cutler, of course, is a childhood friend of the Young Bucks. Finally getting his big break in wrestling after a brief hiatus. Anyway, yeah, this was another fantastic match. But the end came when MJF got a he got a he got a cheap shot in off the referee's distraction, and then he locked in a Fujiwara armbar, making Cutler tap out. It was a fantastic match. Next, we had a a celebrity endorsement that really didn't feel like a WWE style endorsement. It actually was entertaining. Yeah. Uh, Shoot, I forget the Jack something Van Fleet. I don't know the dude, the interviewer. Anyway, um, yeah, he was interviewing Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes of the Jay and Silent Film reboot. You know, interviewing them because Chris Jericho's in the new film, but they were also models for the AEW tag team titles. So yeah, the interviewer picked their brain when Jack Evans and Angelico came out there and just tried to uh, tear them apart on the mic. But yeah, they kind of got their they kind of got burned in their own right because yeah, Jason Mewes fired back with yeah, you guys aren't good enough to win a match. Yeah, and that was fighting words. Angelico and Jack Evans were ready to get it on when Private Party came through the crowd, and it looked like they were getting Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes out of their seats. And that's where that segment ended. Next, we had this is so good. We had a SoCal Uncensored SCU. We had a SCU segment, a pre-recorded segment, where Kazarian and Daniels were posing as Secret Service. Well, and I cannot make this up, Scorpio's guy was doing his top-notch Barack Obama impersonation because they were in D.C. And they basically tore into a this is the worst town I've ever been in, while standing in front of, I'm guessing that was the actual White House they were standing in front of. Anyway, they cut back to the arena. There's the trio in question. cutting another promo, which, if you paid attention during this promo, you saw while Scorpio Sky was talking, Daniels was mouthing the whole promo himself. It was weird. Anyway, yeah, they were basically hyping up the tag tourney, and of course Scorpio Sky is saying that he's going to take a step back and he's going to let Daniels and Kazarian represent them in the tourney. Lucha Brothers came out there and said we're the best tag team in the universe, and they proceeded to brawl. Next, we had a match that we had been dying to get, but were denied it at Double or Nothing. It was, of course, the Bastard Pac taking on Hangman Page. Now, this match, while it was pretty good, it did feel a bit held back. Like, they weren't running with their engines fully revved because they were saving their best for another occasion. But it was still a good match. The whole thing was basically Hangman was trying to battle through Pac's bastardly tactics. Speaking of the word bastard, of course, JR and Shivani were having fun with the word bastard on air. They were having fun with the TV 14 rating, no longer PG 14. Yeah, they were having a lot of fun with working a little cursive, and yeah, towards the finish. Pac used Earl Hebner, who, props to Earl Hebner, he was on point for this match. Anyway, he used him as a shield, and while Hangman, just moved him out of the way, turned back around, Pac hit him with a reverse mule kick right into the business area. Of course, old Pac hit the Black Arrow and followed up right into the Brutalizer, aka the Rings of Saturn. And Page just pretty much tapped right there. So yeah, I feel like this is not going to be the last time we see them. They're basically going to go all out next time they face off. It's fantastic. If we get to the next match, quick shout out to Shivani and JR. Because towards the beginning of the broadcast, they did mention WCW. They talked about Brian Pillman and Liger back in the day, and then JR brought up, of course, they fought on the first episode of Nitro, that one infamous for Lex Luger just... Anyway, but yeah, so they weren't shy about going towards the WCW. Well, of course, this has been 18 years since Nitro went off of Turner programming. So, fun fact. Next, we had the match to determine the inaugural Women's Wristwatch Championship. I say wristwatch because that belt was tiny. It looked like one of those wristwatch belts you get on WWEshop.com. Or it looks like, one of these $20 belts. It was a very, very small belt. I really hope that that's a placeholder belt. Like, they're going to get a bigger version of that belt. Because What Culture Pro Wrestling back in the day, when they had their very first championship, they had a tiny championship. And then, I think when Joe Connors picked it up, the second champion, when Joe Connors picked it up, they got a, actual belt. So, anyway, it was between Nyla Rose, who won the the women's casino battle royale at All Out, taking on Riho, who earned her spot into the match by beating um, crap. I forget her name, but it was one of the other Joshi wrestlers at All Out. Yeah, this was a really good match. Britt Baker was on commentary. She didn't she didn't add much to it, which was a welcome relief. But yeah, both these ladies absolutely just Nyla Rose was tearing through Riho, but Riho was not giving up. The match came to a close when Riho hit a avalanche Northern Light suplex from the second row, and then followed up with running knees for the 1, 2, 3. And yeah, Riho is the first AEW Women's Champion. Again, hopefully they get a bigger belt. Um, After the match, Michael Nakazawa came out there to congratulate Riho. And of course, he got his ass kicked by Nyla Rose, who also was about to open up a can of whoop ass on Riho until Kenny Omega made the save. Just basically backed her off, told her, no, no, it's over. Go home. It's over. So yeah. And then finally, our main event, it was a 6-man tag team championship as the Elite, the Elite. Yes, they even came out to the theme song of Being the Elite. Anyway, it was the Young Bucks and the aforementioned Kenny Omega taking on Chris Jericho and his tag team partners, who were revealed on the Countdown to Dynamite special that happened Tuesday night. Santana and Ortiz, formerly known as LAX. This was a wild, wild match. Halfway through the match, Kenny and the Bucks were running through Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz with their topes, and while Kenny was gearing up for his Terminator tope, he was interrupted by one John Moxley, who they proceeded to beat the absolute tar out of each other outside the ring. No disqualification, mind you. The 6-man tag team still went on as Omega and Mox beat each other up. Omega even reverted to using a mop, a literal cleaning tool, to clean Mox's clock. But that scrum ended when Moxley put Omega through a glass table with the paradigm shift, or the Death Rider, depending on which promotion you prefer. Yeah, so both Omega and Mox were out, leading to a 3-on-2 tag team match. No disqualification. Somehow they announced it was a no disqualification match. Anyway, yeah, that left the Jackson brothers to take on Santana, Ortiz, and Jericho, but to no avail. Yeah, the Jackson brothers were going to hit a best Meltzer driver ever on one of I think it was Santana. And as Nick was coming through the air to deliver on the driver, Jericho came in with a code breaker and laid out Matt with a Judas effect elbow, and he got the victory for his team. Afterwards, Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz were beating up on the Young Bucks when Cody Rhodes came out there to make the save. he was followed up by Sammy Guevara, who toe tapped Cody right in the junk. Yeah, toe tapped him right in the business. Um, then Dustin came out there, started cleaning house. He toe tapped Sammy Guevara right in the business. And then who showed up? That's right, it was Bellator's own Mike Hager. Well, I'm sorry, shit. Mike Hager is a video game character. Jack Hager, the former it's the former Jack Swagger, my boy Swag. Of course, Jake Strong. Anyway, he came out there and he laid out all of the baby faces as all of the heels stood tall to end the show. So yeah, just it was a, no pun intended, a dynamite start for this brand. Of course, they beat NXT in the ratings. Yeah, the premiere episode of Dynamite had over 1 million views, while NXT had over 400,000 views, which it's not bad. NXT is sticking to their roots, and this is the premiere episode, so there's still time. In between now and a year from now, where that paradigm could shift. So yeah. That being said, it was still a bang up episode of AEW. Just kind of felt like they just detonated a powder keg just to get this thing go off. But yeah, that's our review of premiere episode of AEW Dynamite, Wednesday Night Dynamite. And that'll do it for our very first episode of the Elite Count. I guess it's time to do the usual. If you miss Rod's opinions but hate his ugly face, he has a podcast where no doubt where he talked about this debut episode of AEW amongst other things. It's called Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime on Castbox. Castbox. I almost said SoundCloud. That's a real thing, but he's not on there. He's on Castbox. So yeah. Being said, look forward to more episodes of 3 Count. So, that being said, I'm the greatest second place champion in 3 Count history, and of course, tied for first place. I am the United States of War Machine MJ, and we will see you guys next time.